A splendid Monday afternoon to all. I am William Theo, and this is PTV News Now. Kicking off today's stories at the hour, the typhoon and tropical storm carousel is on, with 3 having exited stage left and 2 more forecast to hit the country tomorrow and over the coming weekend. And with relief efforts still underway in areas hit hard by severe tropical storm Christine, which drenched and soaked the regions of the Visayas, Southern Luzon, Calabarzon, Central Luzon, the Cordilleras, and Northern Luzon in the last week of October. A spate of 3 storms and/or typhoons, Julian, Leon, Marce, has hit the country since, with a couple more due beginning tomorrow morning. Nika, and not so far behind her this coming weekend, a tropical depression to be named Ophel once she intensifies and reaches Philippine forecasting area. As of 10 a.m. today, Monday, the tropical depression outside the Philippine area of responsibility was spotted some 1,480 kilometers or 925 miles away from the South Pacific, but in a trajectory or pathway headed for the Luzon mainland. Pag-asa forecasts the tropical depression to intensify and reach typhoon status on Wednesday. Meanwhile, one world leader was exceptionally gleeful in the outcome of the last week's U.S. presidential elections. He tweeted on his X account his congratulations to the president-elect, calling his win the greatest political comeback he had ever seen. Ever since it was clear Tuesday night last week of Trump's clear victory, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has spoken to the president-elect and avows both he and Trump see eye to eye on the way forward in the Middle East conflicts and in dealing with Tehran. Then again, there had been no let-up in the artillery fire and airstrikes in Gaza and Lebanon, the latest of which claimed dozens of lives in both places, leaving rescue workers and volunteers scrambling to extricate victims, both dead and wounded, under the rubble. In Northern Gaza, an Israeli airstrike on a shelter harboring displaced people in the urban refugee camp of Jabalia killed at least 17 people, including 9 women, as per a hospital report. The Israeli Defense Forces said, without presenting any shred of evidence, as it almost always does after a lethal airstrike, said the targeted location was a site of militant planning and operations. Israeli offensive operations in Gaza have resulted in the deaths of 43,000 Palestinians, more than half of whom are women and children, and thousands of Hamas fighters. One of the most unforgettable campaign slogans by Kamala Harris during the stump that she was having a to-do list on her day 1 of her presidency, while Donald Trump has his revenge list. And almost everyone who have been through Trump's first presidency knows his vengeful and vindictive personality, as VOA's Veronica Valderas Iglesias shares in this report.
After a decisive electoral victory, all eyes are now on President-elect Donald Trump and how he will govern. His supporters believe that even those Americans who didn't vote for the former president will see their lives improve.
I think a lot of people across the country, even who have bought into, I think, some false narratives about Donald Trump, are going to be pleasantly surprised as to finding more money in their paycheck, prices coming down in the country, a secure border.
With the selection of Susie Wiles as Trump's chief of staff, the president-elect's administration is already taking shape. The former president took to his Truth social media platform Saturday to make clear, however, that neither former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, nor Trump's former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, will be invited to join his cabinet this time around. Meanwhile, questions have been raised about whether Trump will act on promises he's made to seek revenge against his political enemies and those who have pursued legal cases against him.
I'm going to tell you what Donald Trump has said on this time and again. Success will be our retribution. Success will be our vengeance.
While I concede
for those who supported the Democratic presidential campaign of Vice President Kamala Harris, this is a time of reflection.
The working class of this country is angry, and they have a reason to be angry. We are living in an economy today, Donna, where the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck.
While praising the Biden administration's achievements, Senator Sanders said there's more work to be done.
We need an agenda that says to the working class, we're going to take on these powerful special interests and create an economy and a government that works for you. And by the way, that can't happen unless you get big money out of politics.
U.S. President Joe Biden has promised there will be a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th. Biden called Trump to congratulate him after his election win, and the two are scheduled to meet in person Wednesday at the White House. Veronica Valderas Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.
And we have come to the end of our program. Join us anew later for the evening news break stories at the hour. Always stay connected by keeping it here for news you can count on. I am William Theo. Thank you for watching PTV News Now.